I used to go to a studio where I was noticed and being seen as a church rat. That's what we call it back then.
Okay.
Yeah. So we call it church rat. So in the studio, we call it studio rat. Studio rat is like you run errands for
Yep.
most
Intern.
like exactly like everybody in the studio.
Yep.
You know.
If you're a new beginner DJ, you need new tips. You want to hear the inspiration from the DJs who started out new, that are taking their DJing game to the next level. Well, you got to check out WeCreateTheVibes.com.
I grew up around so many of the A-list hip hop artists, and even with some of the A-list Afrobeat artists. Sorry about that, and some of the hip hop artists too. So back in the days, I've been DJing for about 23 years now. I started DJing when I was about like 14, 15 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I used to go to a studio where I was noticed and being seen as a church rat. That's what we call it back then.
Okay.
Yeah. So we call it church rat. So in the studio, we call it studio rat. Studio rat is like you run errands for
Yep.
most
Intern.
like exactly like everybody in the studio.
Yep.
You know. So I was doing my thing. I like being very, very creative. I know what creativity is when I see it. I know how it sounds like. And digging into it, I started linking up with some good DJs. I mean, back then, when vinyls are still
Yep.
involved. Yeah, we don't even. There was nothing like laptop. There was nothing like everything about digital. That's it.
Yes, man.
That's it.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah. So everything was still back in the oldies. So when you go to gigs, you have like an elephant bag of records to make sure you stack them in a way where you can go and play your gig. So I remember my first ever gig was a carnival
Okay.
where I was in a hot seat, and I couldn't even flip music. It to me it was like a baptism of fire because everybody heard that I was DJing, and they wanted to see what this little boy can come up with. I was little then. I was very, very little. And I remember the song I played then was Jamboree by Naughty by Nature. So instead of me playing where the vocals are, I flipped through where the instrumentals is, and I played it.
Okay.
And today it sounded like something different. Like, yo, so these songs have instrumental. So that was where I started, and I was sweating. It was outside. It wasn't hot. It was a December period where it was winter period, but I was sweating because I was just trying to get clips of people so that they can encourage me and like what I was doing. So then I make music in my studio. I don't know if you can see. This is my studio where I play the keys.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm all around music. I play the keys, I play drums, I play bass guitar. Though drums is kind of like my major. So that took me into, looking for somebody who can help me build my creativity in DJing. So I looked up a friend, like a senior colleague right now in the industry, and I met with him, and we started going to the radio station.
Yeah.
And he took me to the radio station, one of the biggest radio stations in Nigeria. By the way, I'm from Africa and Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. And we went to the radio station, and I started building that confidence on playing on air, why people are not seeing you, but you know what you're doing.